What if the key to protecting your mind isn't some complex new drug, but a simple choice you make in your kitchen pantry? And what if a healthy snack you've trusted for years is quietly dimming your cognitive light? Look, I don't make claims like this lightly. This became personal when I saw my own father's world start to shrink. I'm telling you this now because I have to. Please listen closely, because I'm going to lay out the exact daily habit that is helping countless seniors fight back against brain fog. It's a truth the snack food industry hopes you never discover. I need you to grasp a critical truth that's almost never discussed. Your body at 70 doesn't run on the same fuel it did at 40. This is especially true for nuts. A food that was a healthy staple in middle age can become a real problem in your later years. This isn't about food allergies. It's a fundamental change in your biochemistry, specifically in how your body handles certain fats and compounds as you age, which directly impacts your brain. The science on this has been building for years, but it doesn't grab headlines. Why? Because telling you to avoid something doesn't sell more product. The food industry would rather you buy the whole aisle. But I'm here to tell you the one thing your doctor might have missed. For seniors, which nut you choose is one of the most important decisions you can make for your brain, your heart, and your future. This knowledge changed our lives, and I genuinely believe it can change yours. 3 years ago, my dad started to slip. He was subtle at first, misplacing his reading glasses, fumbling for a word. We brushed it off as just getting older. He was 73. The wake-up call was the day he stood in front of the coffee maker, an appliance he'd used for half a century, and looked at me with total confusion. That's when the fear hit. Doctors did their scans, used phrases like age, appropriate cognitive decline, and suggested medications whose side effects sounded terrifying. I couldn't accept it. This was a man who built a business from nothing, who could quote Shakespeare, and now he was being told to just accept fading away. So I went to work, digging into the research, speaking with neurologists and longevity experts who think outside the box. The link I found between specific foods and brain inflammation was staggering, especially concerning nuts, the very heart-healthy snack my father ate every single day. Here's the hard truth. All nuts are not your friends, and some can actually put your cognitive decline on the fast track because of their specific makeup and how they stir up inflammation. The first nut seniors need to be wary of is the cashew. It seems harmless, but it's one of the highest carb nuts out there. For an older adult whose body is already less efficient at managing blood sugar, this can create a roller coaster of glucose spikes and crashes. Those spikes are directly tied to brain fog and long-term cognitive damage. Cashews also carry a high load of oxalates, which can trigger inflammation in sensitive systems. For someone over 65 whose natural detoxification isn't what it used to be, this inflammation doesn't just stay in your gut, it can cross into the brain, contributing to the very memory loss we've been told is just a part of aging. But there's nothing just about losing yourself. The second nut on this list will likely shock you: peanuts. They're not even true nuts, they're legumes, and they bring a couple of serious issues for a senior's brain. First, they are a primary home for aflatoxins, poisons from a fungus that commonly grows on peanuts. As we get older, our liver's ability to clear these toxins weakens, letting them build up and create stress on our entire neurological system. Research has linked chronic aflatoxin exposure with cognitive issues, especially in seniors. On top of that, peanuts have a heavily imbalanced omega-6 to omega-3 fat ratio, which essentially pours fuel on the fire of inflammation. The aging brain is already in a constant fight against inflammation. Adding a daily handful of peanuts is like handing the enemy more ammunition. I watched my dad eat peanuts every afternoon while struggling to recall his own grandchildren's names. The pattern became sickeningly clear. The third nut to reconsider is the Brazil nut, but this one comes with a twist. Brazil nuts are famous for selenium, a crucial antioxidant for the brain. But this is a classic case of the dose makes the poison. Just 2 nuts can blow past your entire daily requirement. For a senior eating them by the handful, this can quickly lead to selenium toxicity. And the symptoms: nausea, irritability, and even nerve damage that looks terrifyingly similar to the early signs of dementia. I've met so many well-meaning seniors who think they're doing something great for their health, not realizing they might be overdosing on a single mineral. The most dangerous part is that the resulting confusion and memory problems are almost never linked back to the healthy Brazil nuts they're eating. The fourth nut that needs a warning label is the one many consider the healthiest: conventional almonds. The almond itself is a great food, but the problem is the journey it takes to your grocery store. Most commercially grown almonds are subjected to chemical fumigation and treatments. An aging body, with its less robust detoxification system, struggles to filter out these chemical residues. Neurologists are now talking about a toxic load, where this slow accumulation of environmental toxins starts to impair brain function. A senior's brain is uniquely vulnerable because the blood-brain barrier, the brain's protective gatekeeper, becomes more porous with age, giving these toxins easier access. Plus, modern farming has skewed conventional almonds to have a more inflammatory omega-6 profile. When we switched my father from his daily conventional almonds to organic, truly raw ones as part of his new protocol, his alertness improved in a matter of weeks. His doctors had told us that was impossible. Now let's talk about the turnaround. When my father cut out these 4 problem nuts and started incorporating the 4 brain-building powerhouses I'm about to give you, things began to happen that his doctors said couldn't. The fog started to lift, the memory gaps became less frequent. That spark in his eye, his personality, it started coming back. The same doctor who told us his decline was just part of aging was speechless at his improved cognitive scores 6 months later. We knew why. We had learned that specific foods have specific jobs, and you can change the entire course of cognitive aging by making strategic swaps. This isn't a miracle. It's about giving your aging brain the right tools and taking away the ones that are breaking it. What's incredible is that ancient healing traditions knew this for centuries. In traditional Chinese medicine, certain nuts were prescribed to elders to preserve their shen, their spirit and mental clarity. The nuts they recommended are an almost perfect match for what modern science is now validating for brain health. In Ayurveda from India, nuts were classified by their effect on the aging body, with advice that lines up perfectly with today's findings on which ones support neurological function. Our ancestors understood this intuitively. It's this blend of ancient wisdom and modern science that forms the core of the protocol that helped my father reclaim his mind when modern medicine said there was no hope. Let me introduce you to the first hero nut that every senior should eat daily: walnuts. It's no accident they look like miniature brains. They are nature's most perfect food for the mind. Walnuts have the highest concentration of ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fat of any nut. This specific omega-3 is a superstar at crossing the blood-brain barrier, where it directly nourishes brain cells and encourages the growth of new neural pathways, even in an older brain. A major UCLA study showed that eating walnuts was directly linked to better scores on cognitive tests in seniors. Walnuts are also packed with antioxidants that act like a cleanup crew, neutralizing the free radical damage that speeds up brain aging. When my dad started eating just 7 walnuts a day, we saw his ability to find words and hold a conversation improve within weeks. It wasn't a fluke, it was his brain getting the exact fuel it was starving for. The second nut that needs to be in your pantry is the pecan. Pecans are often overlooked, but they contain a unique class of antioxidants that are like a personal security detail for your aging brain cells. These compounds are drawn to neural tissue, shielding it from the oxidative stress that drives cognitive decline. What makes pecans so vital for seniors is their high level of vitamin E, a nutrient that becomes absolutely critical for brain health after 65. Study after study shows that people with high vitamin E levels have better, preserved cognitive function in old age, yet most seniors are deficient. Pecans also contain healthy monounsaturated fats that support good blood flow, which is like the highway system that delivers oxygen and nutrients to the brain. When my dad added a small handful of pecans to his morning walnuts, his neurologist was shocked by the improvements in his mental processing speed. The third brain protector you need to know about is the pistachio. These little green gems contain a unique blend of compounds that are champions of vascular health. Think of the blood vessels in your brain as tiny, delicate pipes. As we age, these pipes can get damaged and clogged, leading to reduced blood flow and the silent strokes that are a major cause of cognitive decline. Pistachios help keep these pipes clean and flexible, ensuring your brain gets the robust blood supply it needs. They also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 nutrients famous for eye health that we now know are just as important for preserving brain function. The brain-eye connection is powerful, and pistachios nourish both at the same time. And the fourth nut in our brain-boosting arsenal is one of the most underrated treasures in nutrition, the pine nut. For thousands of years, traditional medicine has prized these small nuts for promoting cognitive longevity. Science is now showing us why. Pine nuts are rich in a rare fat called pinolonic acid, which is a master at regulating inflammation. For a senior whose brain is naturally prone to more inflammation, this is like having a firefighter on call 24/7. Pine nuts also provide a healthy dose of manganese, a mineral that helps power the mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside your brain cells. As we age, these factories slow down, but the right nutrients can keep them running strong. When my father added just a tablespoon of pine nuts to his daily routine, his mental stamina noticeably improved. He could read or talk for longer without that crushing mental fatigue. So, here is the exact morning ritual that turned everything around for my father. It's a simple practice anyone can adopt because the best solutions are the ones you can stick with. Every morning, he takes 1 tablespoon each of freshly ground walnuts, pecans, pistachios. We call it his brain fuel blend. He stirs this mixture into a bowl of plain, organic yogurt, adds a small drizzle of raw honey, and a dash of Ceylon cinnamon, which has its own powerful, research-backed benefits for the brain. In less than 3 minutes, he creates a meal that provides his aging brain with the precise cocktail of nutrients it needs to fight inflammation, build new connections, and optimize blood flow. The yogurt's probiotics also support gut health, which is directly wired to brain function. The result is sustained mental energy, clearer thinking, and a gradual rebuilding of the cognitive strength we thought was gone for good. I want to be clear about the science here, because knowing why builds commitment. The power of these recommended nuts comes from how they work together. First, they provide a diverse team of antioxidants to fight the free radical damage that accelerates in the aging brain. Second, they deliver the specific fats that are the literal building blocks for healthy brain cells and their protective coatings. Third, they contain unique compounds that calm neuroinflammation, tackling one of the root causes of cognitive decline. Fourth, they provide nutrients to keep the brain's blood vessels healthy, ensuring it gets the oxygen it needs. And fifth, they support neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to adapt and rewire itself, which we now know continues throughout our entire lives if given the right support. It's a full-spectrum approach to brain health, but this is about more than studies. The real proof was watching my dad come back to us. About 6 months in, he called me excited. He'd had a vivid dream about his childhood, recalling details he thought were lost forever. I thought those memories were gone, he said, his voice thick with emotion. They were just buried. A few months after that, he remembered all his grandkids' birthdays without a single prompt. At his next check-up, his doctor, initially a skeptic, looked at the test results and couldn't deny the change. Whatever you're doing, he admitted, don't stop. Today, 2 years later, my dad runs a support group, helping other seniors use these same strategies. The man who couldn't remember how to make coffee now quotes from medical journals he reads to stay sharp. There is a deep and troubling flaw in how our society views brain aging. We've accepted memory loss and confusion as a normal, unavoidable price for a long life. This belief serves no one. The truth, backed by cutting-edge science, is that our brains have a stunning capacity for repair and resilience. While we can't control everything, we have far more power than we've been led to believe. My father's story is proof that accepting decline as inevitable is a terrible injustice to the millions who could be helped by something as simple as changing the nuts they eat. Let me give you a few quick tips, because putting this into practice is what counts. First, quality is king. Go for organic nuts when you can. Second, freshness matters. The healthy oils in nuts are fragile. Buy them in small batches and store them in the fridge or freezer. Third, consider soaking your nuts in water overnight. This activates them, making their nutrients easier for an older digestive system to absorb. Fourth, grind them right before you eat them. A small coffee grinder works perfectly. Fifth, consistency beats quantity. A small, dedicated amount every single day is far more powerful than a large amount once a week. I need to clear up a few myths. First, the idea that nut is a nut. That's dangerously false. As we've seen, different nuts have radically different effects on the aging brain. Second, the myth that raw is always better. Lightly toasting can actually make some nutrients more available. Just avoid high-heat commercial roasting. Third, that organic doesn't matter for nuts. It absolutely does. Their high-fat content makes them magnets for pesticides. And finally, the idea that this is about choosing nutrition or medicine. It's not. This is about complementing good medical care with powerful nutritional tools. What makes this so effective is how it targets the specific weak points of an aging brain. As we get older, the blood-brain barrier gets leakier, mitochondria lose power, and neuroinflammation becomes chronic. Each of the 4 hero nuts directly addresses one of these issues. Walnuts deliver fats to rebuild cell walls. Pecans provide antioxidants to protect them. Pistachios keep the blood flowing, and pine nuts put out the inflammatory fires. It's a precision approach. It's telling that cultures around the world, known for their cognitive longevity, like in the Mediterranean where they eat lots of walnuts, or in parts of China where pine nuts are a longevity food, have these very nuts at the core of their diets. This isn't a coincidence. It's real-world proof that what we eat has a profound impact on how we age. These traditions validate what our science is now confirming. Beyond the morning yogurt, you can sprinkle this ground nut blend on oatmeal, blend it into a smoothie, or even mix it into a salad dressing. You can roll the mixture with a bit of honey into brain bites. For an afternoon snack, find a way to make it enjoyable for you. The goal is to make it an easy, consistent part of your life. And remember, this is one part of a bigger picture. The benefits multiply when you combine this diet with physical activity, good sleep, and staying mentally and socially engaged. The nuts are the raw materials, but a healthy lifestyle creates the environment for your brain to truly rebuild. As you start this, be patient. Brain health doesn't turn on a dime. The decline was gradual, and so is the recovery. Keep a small notebook. Jot down changes in your memory, your mood, your mental energy. For some, the change is clear in weeks. For others, it might take a few months. But stay the course. The most important lesson my family learned is this: you have power here. We have been sold a story that our minds are destined to fail. That is a lie. It is a convenient narrative, but it is not the truth. Your brain has a profound ability to respond to how you treat it. My father's story is not a miracle. It is a testament to what happens when you reject the story of inevitable decline and choose to nourish your brain with intention. So let me leave you with this. Your brain, right now at this very moment, is listening. It is constantly adapting to the signals you send it. The 4 nuts to set aside: cashews, peanuts, too many Brazil nuts, can send signals of inflammation and toxic stress. The 4 to embrace: walnuts, pecans, pistachios, and pine nuts, send signals of repair, protection, and growth. This isn't just trivia. It's a user manual for your brain in its later years. Every single morning, when my father makes his breakfast, he is casting a vote for the mind he wants to have tomorrow. You have that same vote in front of you. What will you choose? Before you click away, I need you to feel the power in this knowledge. Cognitive decline is not a sentence you have to accept. It's a path, and you can influence its direction. Don't just watch this, act on it. Take one small step. Maybe it's putting the walnuts on the counter for tomorrow morning. The journey to protecting your mind happens one meal, one choice, one nut at a time. Your future self is being built by what you do today. You have the knowledge now. Choose to build a brilliant one.